Yeah, Perfect Plex Radio. We about to go live on him. Mike Knox. That's with 3 X's cause he's hardcore. Are y'all ready? I go by the name Fred Nuck. We about to give y'all something special. You ready? Let's go! At the money, now you're all what you getting in. Perfect Plex Radio, got them listening, but Mike Knox got this blog talk radio, it's on lock. From Cena to The Rock or whatever wrestler is hot. News to interviews, it's a one-stop shop. We go live every Monday after Raw. So get on the net and log on to blogtalkradio.com/the game V1. Matter of fact, let me give you more choices. You can call in and be the voice with the voiceless. So what you waiting on? Let's get it cracking. Let's talk wrestling. That's enough rapping. Perfect Plex Radio. Simply perfect.
People, do me a favor. You know how we do it right here on the BDSIR radio networks. Stand on your feet for the one, the only, Tully Blanchard! Welcome to the program.
I'm glad to be here. I don't know if I can follow that intro.
Sir, it is an
Although
honor.
I did say at the Hall of Fame induction, the Four Horsemen can follow anybody.
You sure
so
did.
I
was
guess I
there
got to
live.
hold up my end of the stick.
Yeah, well, I was there live, and I'm quite sure you can hold up your end of the bargain 100%. First and foremost, I want to say it's a pleasure and an honor to have you on, sir. How have you been since the Hall of Fame?
I've been good. I'm actually doing some different stuff. I'm decided to get back in the gym and get in shape a little bit. Not for any comebacks or anything. Don't anybody go crazy, but just because at 58 years old, you need to be in shape.
Right.
And I feel better when I'm in shape, and my shoulders and the stuff that aches a little bit doesn't ache quite as bad. And I've really been having a good time the last 4 weeks in the gym, and it's actually improved my golf a little bit. So I'm hitting the ball a little farther, and which is always what you want to try to do, a little straighter, a little farther. So that's a good thing.
Well, you got to be in shape. That's what Tiger Woods is, right? He's in shape. He say, I want to be like an athlete to play golf, even though some people would say golf is not a sport. But it's a great activity, by the way. But the number to call in, people, you want to speak to Mr. Tully Blanchard, Mr. Hall of Famer, Mr. Four Horseman. Let's put the Four Horsemen before the Hall of Famer. Or how you prefer it, Tully? Are you more of a horseman or the Hall of Famer? Which one is better for you in your spirit?
That's either one. I mean, it really doesn't. The Four Horsemen were here before the Hall of Fame was,
right?
And so, I mean, it is. It's a great honor. It's humbling to be inducted, and the presentation at WrestleMania and the night at American Airlines Center was just quite phenomenal. The reaction of the 11,000 plus people that were there for the induction ceremonies was just something that you can only, you have to live through it. You can't imagine it. You can't imagine what it was like before, and then the rest of your life you spend trying to absorb what it really was about.
Well, I happen to be privileged to be there. It was my first WrestleMania, my first Hall of Fame, and I have to say I picked the best Hall of Fame for me to go to see all my childhood idols actually going into the Hall of Fame with the Four Horsemen and Ron Simmons. 347-637-3859 is the number to call in. Mr. Blanchard, I have my co-host here, Christopher, like to ask you a question. Chris, Mr. Spotface, go ahead. You're on the line with a Hall of Famer and the Four Horsemen of Tully Blanchard.
Mr. Blanchard, how you doing?
I'm doing good, Chris. How are you?
I'm fine. First and foremost, I would like to say it's a privilege and an honor to speak to my favorite horseman. I'm not just saying it because you're on the show. but you are definitely my favorite member of the Four Horsemen, and I'm honored.
Well, thank you very much.
All right, my first question, out the gate. I know you're a horseman, but I'm a huge tag team fanatic. The work with the Brainbusters, how does it feel, you and on with Bobby the Brain Heenan? Like, how did WWF at the time, Vince and those guys bring that to you?
How did we go to work for them? Was that the question, or?
Well, how did you guys feel about them putting that together with you guys and Bobby the Brain?
Well, that at the start was very, very good because Bobby the Brain was already established and he was already the top manager there, and if you were managed by him, you got a certain amount of star status just walking in. Although it was really kind of unique. I mean, I don't think the wrestling fans for either company saw us anything other than really the the Horsemen. And I can remember the first night we were there for the TV taping, and they had people running around the audience tearing down the Four Horsemen signs and stuff. But it was still Arn and I. Rose by any other name would smell as sweet, and we were the tag team to be reckoned with. And Arn has made the statement that we're the best tag team of all time. I would probably agree with that. There were some great ones in the past, and although it's a lost art today, but Arn and I could do so many different things with any different kind of opponent. I think that we probably we may not go down that in some people's minds, but I think that the people that really study the performance realize that Arn and I were the best tag team.
I would have to go against and just say this, Tully. As a child, now I had a privilege of speaking with you before we got you on, and as a kid, I have to admit this. I hated the Horsemen. I loved you guys.
You were supposed to.
I was a Dusty Rhodes Magnum TA, but all my friends were Horseman fans. I was like that one kid that was like I was all Dusty Rhodes, and so I always wanted to ask you this question: how real was it when you guys, got the camera out and broke his arm? Because for me, that was reality TV, if there could ever have been reality TV at the time.
How real was it?
How real was it, and how was the story? How was the storyline of doing that? How did that make you guys feel on that storyline? Because you guys were really hated after that, if not more than what you already were.
Oh yeah, it was. We didn't actually break his arm, but it was. You didn't know that. That's because we were very good at what we did.
As a kid, I thought you broke his arm, and I was screaming at my mother.
You were supposed to.
Oh man, Tully, it was the. I go back and I watched the Ric Flair and the Four Horsemen DVD, and I still remember. And I'm showing my wife, and she's like, "Babe, they really." I said, "Yeah, babe, I know." And I really did thought that you guys sought out, followed this guy, and I'm like, they're committing a crime.
Well, we did all that. We did all that.
Right.
We did all that. It was much more impromptu than you thought it might be. But
okay.
Anyway, it was. We were just all very good, spontaneous people.
It definitely came off very well to me. Like I said, as a child. We got a call coming in, or he's also here. He's actually our questionnaire. He's our TNA correspondent, Mr. Lopez. Mr. Lopez, you are on with one of the best Four Horsemen of all time in Tully Blanchard. Go ahead and ask a question for us.
Wow, Mr. Blanchard, it's truly an honor to talk to you. One question that comes to mind is the infamous baseball bat incident that happened in 1988 during World Championship Wrestling. And this moment, it keeps running through my mind on and off, how this was like the most, in my opinion, was like the most shocking moment in wrestling, where Dusty Rhodes kind of loses it and starts swinging the bat, hitting everybody. Now, my question is, how much was that scripted and how much was it a shoot?
I'm trying to remember what event that was.
Well, it was an interview between you and Magnum TA, and it escalated into a fight where Dusty Rhodes came in with the bat and actually choked you, and from there it became chaos. This incident,
1988. That would have been after Magnum's car wreck.
Yeah.
Yes.
This is like when he comes back after the car wreck. Yeah, you're right.
So I guess he's asking how much of that was scripted or how much it was shoot at that time.
Nothing we did was scripted. I mean, other than you've got an interview and you need to talk about this. You've got that kind of stuff was very, very spontaneous. That's why it was believable. And it didn't look scripted because it wasn't. And that's just the way we functioned. That's the way we were taught to function. And so, I mean, the writers and all that kind of stuff, we didn't have writers. We didn't sit around and think, oh, God, what are we going to do?
Right. Well, 347.
Just went out and did it.
347-637-3859 is I'm going to talk to Hall of Famer, Four Horseman, Mr. Tully Blanchard. Mr. Blanchard, I have things that I write down sometimes, like I said, from time to time. And one of the best things for me, I've always believed the 80s was the best time in wrestling history. I'm an 80s kid, I'm an 80s baby. How would you compare the 80s and the 90s to the 2000s and the eras and how they've changed so much?
Unfortunately, I'm not a good judge of that because I don't watch a lot of the product.
Okay.
In the 90s and 2000s, although I did watch a little bit of the show tonight during the commercials of the Spurs game.
Right.
And the Spurs game's still going on.
Yeah, your team's losing.
They weren't losing a little bit ago, but it should be it was turning out to be a really hard fought game, which is what you like to see in the
playoffs.
Playoffs. But I was, I flipped over and watched a little bit of the other show just in case somebody were to ask something about it. But it is, and I just, I hate to be evasive, but I really don't